I'm here to read for you again. Is this because I'm the ghost with the most and now my sage is disturbing me? Maybe. Welcome. Happy Freaky Friday. So glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Hillary. This is Cellulite Love Tarot. Yeah, I'm a little thrown off and that's okay. Yeah, we're going to dive into how we can let our freak flag fly. So, on these days is when I cosplay, if I want to, on my channel, and the only day, okay. Unless I decide that I want to be freaky the rest of the week, but anyway, this is no questions asked. I just free shuffle and channel and get some information about maybe some blockages or things that we need to be aware of that is impeding our full authenticity, okay? If you're new, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. If you're returning, you know, darling, I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I feel so fortunate, and I just love that I've got like a little soul tribe of people here. It, like, seriously makes my whole day. It's awesome. So thank you. I love you so much. Okay, let's jump right in. Spirit, my higher self, my viewer's higher self, thank you so much for using me as a channel to guide and instruct. I ask for the clearest, most concise messages and information to come through for the betterment of my viewer and for the highest good of everyone involved. Thank you so much, Spirit. It's showtime. Let's get on the road. Okay. How do we need to let our freak flag fly? What do we need to be aware of? What things do we need to work on? My eye, this left eye today, apparently is allergic to makeup, so it's watering like crazy. And it's funny because I was like a little worried about it. And then I was like, I'm literally cosplaying someone who is dead. And a demon who comes out of the grave. So like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a little messed up. Page of Cups. Let me get some more cards for that. How do we need to let our freak flag fly? Oh, okay. Well, that couldn't be any more clearer if it wanted to be. We got the Page of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands that came out up front. And on bottom is the Knight of Swords reversed, the Moon, the Eight of Cups, the Hanged Man, and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so I think a big hang up with being fully expressed is feeling like it's not practical. It's not practical, it's not reasonable, it's not appropriate in most cases. The Page of Cups here is like a new adventure of creativity, of love, of passion, all of these things. But the way I've always viewed this card, and I've said it on a few of my other videos, but I always imagine that this Page of Cup is staring at this fish, right, in this cup, and in his mind he's contemplating, he's considering something, and in my mind it's almost like the impossibilities, right? This is a when pigs fly kind of energy. There's an impossibility aspect to the idea of starting something, of leading with your heart, of going forward and fulfilling some emotional needs that you need to fulfill. I imagine that he's sitting there like, there's not really a fish in the cup, but he's imagining how many tiny, tiny, tiny cups it would take to fill the ocean, and that's how impossible his goal feels. It would feel like taking one tiny cup at a time to fill an ocean. Now, if he just looked around at the world around him, he'd see that the ocean is right behind him. He's right there. He doesn't need to fill the ocean. It's already filled, and we can just take like little leaps of faith, take baby steps towards our ideas, our creativity, and just see what happens, because nothing is truly impossible. But when you get caught up in that energy, you go back and forth between this it's funny because the Two of Pentacles is often feeling like pulled between two things, pulled between life circumstances, being stretched too thin. It's almost a feeling of like burnout, in my opinion. To me, it's also showing how dissatisfying it is to be stuck living in a situation or walking around masquerading as something that you truly aren't, right? It's exhausting to be like that, you know, 12 to 18 hours a day. It's exhausting, and it kind of can get you to the point where you're like, what is even the point? Like, this is where people get really dissatisfied with life, and things become mundane, things become repetitive, and just not exciting, not a good time. But that's not how life is supposed to be most of the time. I mean, I don't think so. At least one day a week be weird, or whatever. Not that it's even weird. But then the Queen of Wands here shows up. And it's literally being pulled between the side of you that is confident, powerful, leading with your soul, going and creating magical situations, doing exactly what you want to do, being exactly who you are and being completely magnetic and magical in that energy. The Queen of Wands is so confident and so not bothered really by others' opinions. She is successful. She's going to do what she wants to do. She's going to create what she wants to create. The other side, the darker aspect of the Queen of Wands, can also be that in a way she does like to appear a certain way. She wants to look as confident as she feels. She wants to look, she wants exterior to be everything interior for her, right? So sometimes we're not always feeling like this, right? Sometimes we're not always feeling confident, but the Queen of Wands, her dark aspect is that she will put on a face to show you that she is, even when she isn't. So there's also the side of being like, I have to be presentable in some type of way. I have to be acceptable in some type of way. And if you're flip-flopping between the two, of what feels impossible, what feels like you're obligated to be some type of way versus the way that you want to be, then that dark aspect can be used to show off the way that you don't really want to be, right? The masked version of yourself. It's being deceitful. It's going forth every day, conquering every single day with the Knight of Swords in an untruthful way, right? It's hiding the true aspects of you with that moon. It's hiding your true feelings. It's hiding your true calling, your real soul's pulling. And it's a form of self-abandonment with the Eight of Cups, right? And there's a need to see it in a new perspective, right? And I understand because, it's only been 2020 is whenever I had a big shakeup in my foundation and changed everything about myself. My religion, I grew up Christian, evangelical. I was on the worship team. I've written dozens and dozens of worship songs to the Christian God. I was all in. And 2020 shook everything up for me. And now I'm a tarot reader. And I'm a cosplayer. And I have face piercings. And I love who I am. And most of the time, I don't look like this. And most of the time, I'm pretty normal, So, but I was pretty miserable in 2020. And feeling like I had to play a role. I had to play a part. I needed to dress appropriately for my, gender and age. And I needed to be some type of way. And it's just really not a great time for that. It wasn't good. And so I get it. It can take a long time, but it's never too late to do it. It doesn't matter how young, how old you are. It doesn't matter. Just start, Better late than never. I'm going to get some more cards and see what wants to come out about what we need to know. Let our freak flag fly. Let our freak flag fly. This eye is really, really watering. Okay, let's see. What else do we need to be aware of? What energy around us? The Eight of Cups, they're really just the more dissatisfied you are. And this dissatisfaction can often show up I don't even know who or what I am or what I like, right? Because your life is full of having to do things, of having to be responsible in certain ways, and then You still have to be responsible in those ways, but you can get lost. You can lose yourself to the responsibilities of life. And it just feel like you don't even know where you're going. Like, you know that you have to take action. You know that you are walking in a direction. You know that you are carrying on with life, but you're just like, I don't even know. The journey is just starting, you know? The journey is just starting, and often it does start with these hard, dissatisfying feelings, you know? I don't like the whole high vibe, low vibe aspect that runs around the spirituality community, because I think that the low vibe, it's a duality mindset when there's a unity point that, you know, can incorporate using low vibe to help you understand yourself, which then fuels a high vibe, right? I don't even go by a vibration or whatever, but I'm just like, whatever you want to call it. Don't be afraid of the hard moments. It's funny. The Eight of Cups followed by the Hermit. Virgo energy right now. There's no better time than now to start living as your true, authentic self. To take time to yourself to figure it out, to go through and do some journaling or prompting or listen to some YouTube videos of self-discovery. There are so many wonderful tools available for free on the internet to learn about who you are, what you like, you know, what you don't like. So many. And it can feel like a hard place to start, but you can do it just one step at a time. You don't have to figure out who you are all at once, and you might even try some things and figure out, you know, I actually really don't like that. But it's a slow process. You know, this Empress energy is very, very abundant, very fruitful. She, more earth energy, by the way. This is all about living the 3D, the earth energy. Okay. Very productive. However, in this representation, it shows, you know, pregnancy here. The pregnancy of creation, you know, creating the world around you. Pregnancy takes time, and it's slow and grueling at times. And there's moments where, in the beginning, you wouldn't even know, right? You couldn't even tell if someone was pregnant, if things are being created. And that's what I mean by taking little steps, just starting in one place, because it just takes a little fertilization for that egg, you know? And there's so many options. So many options. So, you don't have to have it all figured out, but doing it one step at a time, perfectly okay. Yeah, it's one step at a time away from being self-deceiving, right? The idea that you are too old, too whatever, that's not in your gender role, that's not acceptable around people, you know, that's all just mental warfare that you deal with, you know, that is self-deceiving. You can strategize and take small steps, you know, the other side of the Seven of Swords is strategy, it's planning, it's careful planning, right? So you can take the small steps you need to relearn who you are, learn what the truth is, make that discovery. Even maybe talk to people and see how they view you. You know, you don't even know how people actually view you. What you think, how you think people perceive you is actually just your own perception. So if you want to know how other people see you and then try to see yourself from that aspect, not that how other people see you is true, but just from a different perspective, communicate about it. Ask about it. Talk about it. How do you perceive me in this area? I don't know. This seems like a weird conversation, but hey, we're letting our freak flag fly. Why not? We should be that close with the people we care about. We should be able to go up and say, hey, how do you perceive me? I don't know. The Queen of Swords reversed and the Six of Swords. Queen of Swords reversed is someone who stands up for truth, but she's also very angry because of all of the hardship and all the dishonesty that she's faced. So there could absolutely be a built up resentment feeling, a built up anger towards the concept of life, the concept of what being a human being on earth means, and feeling like you had to walk away from things that were meant for you, feeling like the opportunities, I'm getting like, oh gosh, that's so heavy, but I'm going to say it, and I don't like to say it, but I'm going to say it. Some of us feel like our childhood was basically robbed from us, right? Not having the opportunities to be a kid, to explore the sides of you that wasn't embarrassed to be excited about weird things, that wasn't embarrassed to try new things, who was excited about the idea of throwing on a crazy costume and being recorded for the world to see. That was so exciting. Not being terrified about it. Some of us can have some resentment about those opportunities being taken from us. You know, being shamed, being taught shame about those situations, being taught to be embarrassed about certain things, being taught to be a certain way, being taught to ignore our intuition, feeling like we were burdens, that 10 of Wands, instead of being shown love unconditionally, 9 of Cups. Instead of being loved for exactly who we are, 9 of Cups. Yeah. That is hard. That is hard. But you know what? We can't change that, but you can reparent yourself. You can reparent yourself and give yourself permission to feel those ways again. That's inner child work. It's literally reparenting yourself. It's going in when you feel those moments of doubt or shame or, oh, I can't do that. When I first started cosplaying, you know how mortifyingly embarrassed I was to go out in public? I met a friend who is completely self-expressed, and she got me into it. And I did it originally to bond with her. I did not have an interest before. The first time I did it, I was so fucking worried about what everyone thought. And I was going to a convention where there were hundreds of other cosplayers. It was normal for everyone. But even just the fact that it was at a hotel that was hosting this convention, and there were people who were normal people like me who would look at me and think, "What? They're so weird. Why are people like this?" That idea, I'm talking like dripping sweat anxiety attacks, okay? Now I'm at a place where I'm just like, who cares? They're either going to judge or they're going to get a kick out of it. And it doesn't matter because it's fun for me. I enjoy that I get to do it. It's a form of expression. I like that I get to do crazy makeup and do crazy colors, and it's so healing for my inner child. So if you're thinking about doing cosplay, I suggest it. There's plenty of conventions. Convection. What was that, like an oven? Give yourself some time to cook, baby. Let the dough rise. Okay, let's see. Self-approval is the most important thing, and that starts with reparenting, because really the voices in your head that judges what you want to do, that judges or shames yourself or gets overly embarrassed and relives embarrassing situations in your mind, that's not actually your voice. That was a voice that was taught to you by the people around you, friends, family. And you get to unlearn that voice. You do. You should. I'm still working on it. It takes a long time. That's what I'm saying. Let yourself bake. What else do we need to know to let our freak flag fly? 8 of Wands. Talk about going forward like completely uninhibited. The 8 of Wands is the second fastest moving energy card in the tarot, next to the Chariot. And it's the Wands. That is completely soul fire, soul food, like passion, spiritual influence, and that is just going forward and just smashing the shit out of it. I don't know. destroy what you think is right and true and written in stone. Like, that wand is destroying some sort of document. What does a document represent? It represents a contract, something that is binding, something that is written and therefore must be. And it's just like, is it really? Or can you get rid of these concepts anytime you want to? Because you can. You know. Ah, that's how you become happy. 4 of Wands. 4 of Wands. You know, 4 of Wands doubled is 8 of Wands. So now we're doing math. That's how you become happy, and that's how you heal with the star. Building a... Oh my gosh, so many wands. So much soul food here. Yes. Okay. You just got to start somewhere. Start small. It takes a long time to build a house. You want to do it right. You want to do it stable. You want to reparent yourself. You want to give yourself permission to explore things. And yeah, maybe you don't like some of the things that you try. You know, I have a good friend who cracks me up. He moved from Texas to Tennessee a few years ago and just walked around Nashville, never did axe throwing before in his life, but just walked into an axe throwing place, learned how to axe throw, and then like within a day was teaching people how to axe throw. All he did was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go and see what calls to me. Like, that's a good way to start. He had no idea he'd be interested in axe throwing. No idea. But then he became a teacher, and he's good at it. Like, you know, like that's how you start new adventures, is you just go and you let yourself wander, and you be willing to learn, and you be willing to learn from other people. I would have never gotten into cosplay if it weren't for someone else that I didn't even know. Did I do it for the wrong reasons originally? Maybe. I don't do it for that reason anymore. And there's times when I don't want to cosplay or I don't want to go to conventions. I'm just like, no thanks, not for me this time. Not for me this time. That's okay too. Let's see what else wants to come out. Destiny. Destiny is the Wheel of Fortune in this deck. Talk about fated connections, fated timing, a destiny of situations, the stars aligning just right, the karmic wheel turning in your favor. Okay? Luck, abundance, all of these things. Once you get on the right track of just like starting to follow who you think you might even be, right? I don't know why I'm approaching this like you're a beginner. This seems like a beginner. I feel like I'm still a beginner too. Maybe that's why my energy is still kind of a beginner at being self-expressed. I'm a baby self-express person. But once you just start taking the steps, literally the universe will align you with situations, with interactions, fated encounters to explore who you are, you know, to light that soul fire. It's so awesome. Yeah. King of Swords. To learn your full truth, to be able to stand powerfully in who you are. To be able to stand powerfully in who you are. I've said it before. Logic can be used to your advantage in any situation. We can use anything to our advantage. Logic often is used around the world to suppress, to condition, to teach what's right and wrong, what's good and bad, what's weird and not weird, what's normal and what's obscure, right? But you can use that same logic to your advantage and just say, like, I'm not really enjoying what I'm currently doing, so why would I continue doing that? I only have, like, insert X number of years left on this earth, you know, like, and I'm not promised tomorrow, so what can I do today that would just bring me a little bit of feeling like I did something for me? I just got another channeled message about that. So often we can feel like we have to reflect on the day, reflect on the week, and like tally up all the things that we did. Well, I did this and I had to do this and I had to do this. And it's like how we measure our productivity, how we measure how productive we were, how we weren't just some lazy bones pile on the couch or whatever, right? It might be time to reanalyze and make a list of things that you didn't do in order to give yourself peace, to honor yourself, to give yourself rest, to give yourself freedom to express, to give yourself an opportunity to not feel obligated in some type of way. Maybe we need to do that as well and feel some sort of, accomplishment by telling the things that we said no to, the things that we said no to in order to be authentically you that day, Maybe. Devil and Judgment flew out. Yeah. I'm getting so many messages. I'm trying to decipher how to start. I apologize. I got several different things. Okay. The Devil card can represent feeling bound to things. It's toxicity, it's obsession, it's worry, it's doubt, it's fear, it's all of the hard, difficult human conditions to navigate through. The Judgment is an awakening, a spiritual awakening. I love that they came out together, because what could shine light on the devil is a spiritual awakening. This is literally like angels versus demons, And I'm not going to shun anyone for having this, because we all have this in us at all times. We're humans. We are. But what are you leading with? Are you leading with feeling bound to certain things? Are you leading with feeling obligated, with fear, with worry, with anxiety, with complacency? I mean, think of the 7 deadly sins. Are you leading in a way that is self-abandoning? Or are you leading in a way that is giving yourself opportunity to open and express? And you don't have to be perfect at it. You really don't. I want to use this. I have this crazy tower takeover deck, and it's literally all towers, and I like to use it for big shakeups that need to happen. So let's see what big shakeup needs to happen real quick before I close this out and get you some angel answers and healing energy oracles. What big things need to change? But you were just talking about baby steps. Why we gotta talk about big changes? You could take baby steps towards big changes. It takes a long time to build a house. It takes a long time to grow a baby. It's a big deal, though. Okay. Let's see. What big things need to change? On my tower takeover deck, the big change that needs to happen is a big change. The tower. It's the crumbling of faulty foundations. It's what you think is solid and true and safe. These people thought that they were safe. They thought that they were in a place that would provide shelter from a storm. They believed it was safe. What you believe to be true is not necessarily true. Are you willing to deconstruct, in a way, all of your beliefs, everything, from the beginning to the end, till now, Are you willing to say the things that I believe are wholeheartedly true? Can I possibly review it, reanalyze it, open my mind? And you might come back to the same conclusion. You really might. That's okay. It's the idea of being willing to have an open mind that then leads to open possibilities of you being able to learn more about who you truly are, what you truly believe, how you truly express, instead of what you are taught, okay? What you are taught, what is acceptable around you, what is the common belief system, truth, whatever, in your community, Are you willing to relook it? And a lot of us don't want to do that because if we reanalyze everything that we've taught, then it could bring up a lot of difficult emotions for us to work through with deconstructing beliefs, with deconstructing truths. Three of Swords. Yeah. There's also a need to, because this would be like changing heartache, changing betrayal, changing, oh, I guess that would be self-betrayal. Yeah. If you're willing to change the way you believe, then you are putting an end to self-betrayal, to hurting your own heart by suppressing who you are. I'm going to get one more card and then I'll move on, okay? One more big change. They said you thought you were just going to get one card. Here's two. The Fool and Justice. Yes. New beginnings. Feeling foolish. The Fool is the most foolish fool card of the tarot. It's the beginner. It's going forward into new beginnings with a childlike, wonder and excitement. It's being foolish. Justice talks about making things right, bringing balance to situations that have been imbalanced. The Fool and Justice together for being fully authentic is let yourself be foolish. Let yourself be a beginner. Let yourself get excited about things. Let yourself try things, no matter how it looks. That is how you become fair to yourself, is giving yourself opportunities to discover who you are, to discover what you like, to discover you. Giving yourself permission to try things. Giving yourself opportunities to try things. Giving yourself that permission to go out and figure it out. Okay, let's get you some angel answers and then healing energy oracles. If you would like to ask a question, I might get you an answer with these angel answers. And either way, I will interpret the cards as I see necessary. 2 more shuffles, and then I will get your answer. Okay, Spirit, can you please answer my darling's question, please? Unlikely. Listen to your intuition. Communicate clearly. A year from now, baby steps, remain positive, and let go. Yeah. I actually don't have any further interpretations for those, so I'm just going to jump forward to Healing Energy Oracles. I've been really feeling this deck this week. I love them. I love the little affirmations. Spirit, can you please give me some healing energy affirmations for my darling as they go forward with being their full, freaky, self-expressed self. Completely, authentically freaky. Let's see. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay. Which one do I want to read first? Let's see. Oh my gosh. Okay. Success. I grow and thrive in the universe. I discover the purity of my heart and the higher wisdom that guides me towards victory. I direct my thoughts towards clarity and nurture wisdom, love, and goodness within me. I am free now and I succeed in my life. Yes. What is your idea of success, and can you reframe it to benefit not being so mundane, not being so blah, blah, blah. Inner beauty. I open the eyes of my heart and direct my gaze to the light within every being. Personality. I just got like real nasally for a second. Personality and physical appearances are in the image of man. Beauty and goodness are in the image of God. God, spirit, the universe, the divine. Insert nickname for the all. Gratitude. I am aware of the light in my life. I direct my thoughts to the beauty in and around me. I give thanks to God for every little thing that brings me joy. Thus, I enlighten my thoughts. Riches surround me, and I appreciate all that life brings me. Love it. Positive action. I focus on the beauty in me and find silence. I live and honor the present by doing what I can do now. What I cannot change, I let go of and entrust to God. Unconditional love, unconditional self-love. My heart is free from resentment towards others. I open the eyes of my heart and discover the light and beauty in every being. I'm aware that suffering can cause distress and hurt in people. I see the pure child in everyone and practice forgiveness. Oh, that was so good. Transformation. I am constantly evolving. I improve my I messed that up. La, la, la. I improve inwardly by working on my weaknesses and refining my strengths. Life ensures I'm presented with situations that will help me learn and grow. I am aware of my progress and open my wings to the light. Beautiful. One step at a time. Takes a long time to build a house and to grow a baby. Let it bake. I see the mountain ahead and dedicate myself to taking one small step at a time. I make progress by staying focused on the present moment, the current task. Thus, I regain my ease of living. I love it. So perfect. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I know that this was a super long one. I'm going to try to do a soul connection Saturday reading tomorrow where we dive in and see what's going on with your soul connections. Soulmate, twin flame, soul family, whatever. Karmics, we'll see. I might not have time because I've got cosplay prom tomorrow where I will also be Beetlejuice. I was practicing my makeup for today and I'm learning. It's no bueno. If I don't get on tomorrow, then I will see you Monday for Manifestation Monday, where we check in on the energy that you need to be aware of and conscious of for your manifestations to come in. All right? I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I just hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Okay, take care. Bye.